probably still going to have a fairly interesting exchange. We have J.J Fletcher, who's an unaffiliated, and we have Kyle Davis, who's a libertarian. And so these views might be views that you haven't heard before, and for that reason alone, it may be interesting. So, Kyle, in the spirit of going left to right first, we're going to start with you with your 2-minute opening statement.
So, my name's Kyle Davis. I'm not your typical political candidate at all, in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I was very hesitant to even accept the nomination for the Libertarians. For us, 28 years old. I just graduated from CMU in 2013 with MBA in communications. I'm an Army veteran. I served from 2004 to 2007 and went to Iraq during that time. I'm just now starting my career, so I have no business experience other than working with my father, who was self-employed his entire life. So I understand what it means to run a business. I don't have any connections in Washington and Denver. I'm completely free of any of that. But I'm here today because I believe that there's been a big void in terms of political candidates and what they offer. I have not heard any candidate running for office in Colorado who brings up the non-aggression principle. The non-aggression principle is something that's completely changed my worldview. If you believe that force is immoral, don't apply force to anybody. And the government is force, that they hold the sole monopoly on the use of force against otherwise peaceful citizens. So my entire platform, even though I may be not as educated on certain issues as other people, I'm far from the most intelligent and I'm far from the most qualified. But what you get with me is the understanding that I have a very strong philosophy which I base my entire worldview on. And so I can approach any issue that's given and see where it stacks up with my philosophy. Philosophy is something that's not talked about in government anymore. Our entire government was founded on those who took philosophy seriously, and I aim to bring that back.
Thank you, Kyle. J.J.?
Yes. Good evening. I'm J.J Fletcher, and I'm a candidate for Colorado House District 54 as well. I'm a conservative, a constitutionalist, and a man of integrity. The Fletcher family homesteaded in western Colorado. They settled in the 1880s, and they were pioneers. And I have that same pioneer spirit within me that they had. It's about hard work, less talk, and more action. Over the last 36 years as a business owner, I have owned and operated JMax Sales in Palisade. I've traveled about 3 million miles in my career in my pickup, calling on accounts and establishing customer relations. JMax Sales is a mining, drilling, and industrial supply company. I've worked alongside coal miners building stoppings. I've climbed many a drilling rig in western Colorado. Over the last 5 years, we've lost 8,000 jobs in the oil and gas industry and 300 coal mining jobs. I've heard many people say that we need to get over fossil fuels, but I say we can work on alternative energies without cutting the cord to our lifeline. Families are being displaced and moved to other states, and men in this valley are absent from home. This not only impacts our bottom line in our economy, but is also killing the family unit. Mesa County resident Julie Larson put it this way: I know of many families in the Grand Valley who would love to have our husbands, fathers, uncles, and brothers back home working here in Colorado, not in surrounding states, being part-time daddies. Our economy should be diversified with agriculture, agritourism, manufacturing, oil and gas, the healthcare industry. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good opening statements from both of you, I think. Okay, now we're going to start on the 3 questions that I asked before that came from the Freedom Colorado Board. So the first one is, and by the way, the first one to answer the question is going to be you, JJ. Question number 1, you're number 1. The topic is government, and the question is, what is the proper role of government in the economy?
Well, certainly as a business owner, I feel like my industry that I work within has been stifled. We have way too much overreach on the federal level. Right now, we're looking at the Book Cliff Coal project, and we're looking at 4 years before we can implement that project. That's 300 jobs. We have Fram Oil, who's for the last 10 years, they've wanted to drill oil out in the Whitewater Basin, and they can't do it. And a lot of our oil and gas workers have had to move to the Front Range because we have too many regulations in place today. So I believe the federal government and the state government have implemented too many regulations and stifled a lot of the good working men, and they've had to move to other areas and work.
Kyle, do you have the question, or should I repeat?
No, I'm good. Okay. I completely agree. There's not a whole lot that we really seem to disagree on. But what the government does now in the economy is it just screws it up. That's apparently, I don't know if they think that that's their job, but they're doing that really, really well. I think the role of government is really simple. It's outlined in the Constitution, and I think we should stick to that. The role of government generally is provide for safety and for conflict disputes, or try to control that. That's why we have a court system. Other than that, I don't see a reason why it needs to be involved in just about anything. It kills industry. As he said, I have a lot of friends who are working up in North Dakota now because they were working up in Parachute and there's nothing there anymore, so they go up to North Dakota. And I can tell you from experience that deployment anywhere far away from your home, it kills your home. It sucks. So the government just screws up everything it touches, so I want it to touch business a whole lot less. So the role of it in the economy is to just, what I would do is continue to, we need to start revoking some of the privileges the government has. Instead of passing laws that limit businesses, instead of passing laws that tinker with things, we need to start scaling back the things the government does.